Welcome to the Commissioner's Corner show for January 2018.
Oh, yeah.
Made it through a whole nother year, and we have changed up our recording schedule for this wonderful show so that hopefully we can come to you more often on a more consistent basis and keep everybody informed. So I know I'm excited about that, and I'm sure that the rest of the crew here is as well. So anyway, I'm Scott Vargo, your host, and we're joined by your three county commissioners, Karn Stiegelmar, Dan Gibbs, and Thomas Davidson. So we're going to talk, because it's 2018 and we have a new county budget, which is just under $89 million, which is just a little bit above, we were just under $88 million in 2017, and just talk a little bit about what are some highlights within that budget and what you can look forward to in 2018. So who would like to start?
Well, one of the highlights for most people is roads, because everybody cares about the roads, and we are almost doubling the budget in terms of what we're putting into road maintenance and repair. Mm-hmm. And so that's a big one. We've been trying to do that for many years now, get more money, because we feel like we're always a little behind on road maintenance, and our environment is pretty tough on roads.
Yeah. And big projects for roads, Summit Cove Loop we'll be doing, and Thomas, you can talk a little bit about the causeway. That's what this year's project is. A couple of big culverts, and I've been telling folks, these aren't the little metal culverts that go through the road, but these are almost precast bridge structures at about $250,000 each. So significant investment there. We got Heaney Road, Swan Mountain Road, and some work on Boreas Pass also included in that for some bigger roads. What's the causeway, Thomas?
Yeah, so it's where Soda Creek goes through Summit Cove, and it's the main road that everybody travels over to get from one side of Soda Creek to the other. And this is a multi-year project that we've had to fix the roadways and then improve pedestrian and bicycle access along the main roadways in Summit Cove. And so getting across the causeway and replacing these big metal culverts and widening that roadway to make improved and safer access for pedestrians and bicycles is the big project this summer. So we'll have one more year after this, we think, with regards to all of this work in Summit Cove. Summit Cove has kind of been waiting for quite a while, and during the recession there was simply not funding to do work like this. So now that things are coming back, we're catching up.
Yep.
So
yeah, and you're right. So this year, causeway, next year will be sort of the last little link to connect the loop, and then some more side street work, and then hopefully we'll be out of Summit Cove for quite a while, and folks can get rid of the large equipment and some of the disruption that kind of construction causes. So.
Another topic for our budget, of course, having great roads and causeways that are in place and so forth. We have an amazing bus system in Summit County. Budget of that, it's about $9 million. We have, believe it or not, about 2 million folks that ride the bus annually. So it's very, very popular to get folks to work and home and to ski resorts and so forth. And
third or fourth largest system in the state, right?
Yeah, and especially it's one of the most popular in terms of like resort areas. I think the only that come close is maybe Rafta in the Roaring Fork Valley. But we're adding, I believe, 6 new buses, part of that fleet, and we received federal grants, FTA grants, that really helped that make it much more affordable. I believe it was an 80-20 split in terms of 20% was our angle. So a great deal for Summit County taxpayers to get new, safer buses on our fleet. So
and back some years ago, it's probably been about 12 or 13 years ago now, we had a big grant similar to this where we ended up buying 10 buses all at once. And so of course you then have 10 buses that need replacement at or near the same time. Yeah. So we've done some refurbishment, which we've talked about on this program before, where they basically strip the whole bus out and rework everything so that it gets some more life. Now this will allow us to replace some of those buses that are, again, way beyond their useful lifespan.
Yeah.
And who knows, you may end up riding along in one of those in Copper Mountain at some point. They've, in the past, taken some of our old buses and used those as well, because they're short trips rather than riding all around the county. And so
I thought we
been able
took
to...
the old buses out back and shot them.
No. We try to get every nickel we can out of even the old buses. So, yeah. What else would you guys like to chat about in terms of budget? Housing is another big area, and obviously a huge item within the community.
I was just thinking about the county commons, because that's something that's ongoing, and we do plan to do some improvements there every year. And the exciting thing we're doing this year is moving the sand pile.
We hope.
Which might not sound that exciting to some people, but if you live right behind it and that sand is getting moved and snowplows are moving around at night, then that will be really welcome to those people who are on that side of the county commons.
Yep. I just talked to the county engineer just last week about there are two big projects in the commons. One is the realignment of the Scurve Road that comes down from the hospital into the county commons industrial and commons building area. That will get rerouted and tightened up so that you don't have all of those curves coming in. And then, as Karn said, relocating our sand salt building and trying to figure out exactly what we will build there. So hopefully
if everything
we get both of those
on
done.
schedule, then we can pull that off.
Yep.
We're continuing to work hard on different housing projects throughout the county, and so any number of projects that we're going to continue to pursue here this year. There is the project that was approved up at Keystone, and the low income portion of that project got approved for its LIHTC funding, low income tax credit funding. So we'll continue to work with them. In terms of that project, we've got our own project right next to it that we're doing with Compass Homes, called West something or
West
other.
Hills Phase 1, followed shortly by West Hills Del Boca Vista Phase 2.
I want to live in West Hills Phase 1. Anyway, so a lot more projects with regards to workforce housing. Thank you again to the voters for voting yes on the funding last year for that. And we're making good use of the funding to bring projects forward.
Yep, exciting stuff. And we've got some other ideas around land acquisition. We've got, again, some other properties that the county owns, and we're always looking for more opportunities to try and deal with the housing situation in Summit County. So, one other big thing I guess I'll mention now, I think there was a newspaper article not too long ago, was related to short-term rentals. And so that's another area, as you mentioned, housing, that the county is going to be looking at short-term rentals and regulations. We're a little behind the curve as it compares to other counties as well as all the local municipalities. And so we'll try and put some regulation around those rentals so we know where they are and we know that they're all playing by the same rules and they're not creating nuisance and trouble within different neighborhoods as well.
I think that
Unsafe.
our obligations there are, number one, you need to make sure that it's a level playing field, that everybody is paying their right fees or taxes or whatever else. And then number two, we want to make sure that this doesn't significantly degrade the character of a residential neighborhood.
Yep.
So.
And we'll work with all the various stakeholders. The planning department will work with them as we move forward in this process. We'll likely engage somebody to help with compliance in the same way that the town of Breckenridge has, because it's a big issue for us to try to solve internally. So.
Yeah.
All right, so enough about the budget. We'll come back in a couple of minutes and we'll talk about the legislative session that is about to get underway at the state capitol.